Wednesday, June 2nd, 2021, Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. Today we're going to look at how the road to financial and economic collapse continues as the globalists prepare us for a complete cyber pandemic, as they call it now. Yesterday, we had another cyber attack that's just popped out of the blue. A company called JBS. We'll go over that. And this has been happening this year. We had the payment system failure at the Federal Reserve. I think it was back in February, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure exactly when it was. We had the Colonial Pipeline as well, hack. And yesterday we had this JBS meat packing company, one of the biggest in the world. Their systems were hacked. And I made a video on the 25th of May, so about a week ago. And it was entitled, Financial Collapse is a Matter of When and Not If, according to the globalists. And by globalists, I mean the people who run things, really. The people from Davos, the people that go to Bilderberg, the big corporations, the big supranational institutions, but like the UN, the IMF, the World Bank, the BIS, right? And yeah, listen to that video I made about a week ago. I've also put some references there from materials that I looked at. And I was also sent the other day a video from the World Economic Forum, and it's dated April 2nd, actually. So they've been working at this for a while now. Klaus Schwab, of course, said last year that the next big crisis would be a cyber pandemic. They like using the word pandemic, and it would make the one we've had, the non-cyber pandemic that we've had, look like a picnic. So they're really pushing this agenda. So there is a video here. It's only 29 minutes, and I recommend you watch it just to see how arrogant these people are. They have a lot of thumbs down, 1.1 thousand thumbs down, only 158 thumbs up, and they've allowed people to comment. So it is Averting a Cyber Pandemic Part 1, Davos Agenda 2021. So they say it's averting a cyber pandemic, but I would say it's creating one. If you go back to Event 201 as well, that was in 2019, before last year's crisis kicked off, right? So, yeah, they seem to be convinced. And from what I remember well, prior to last year, yes, there were hacks going on, but now they're trying to tell us that it's definite that something is going to occur, that it's going to bring everything down. And we're seeing more and more of these so-called hacks out there that for some reason disrupt the whole infrastructure of the victim company or system. I mean, I remember when I worked in the city of London, even back in the 90s, we had contingency plans. We even did it every 6 months or so. We had to go work somewhere else to make sure that our systems were working. I mean, you would think that a lot of these important companies, important systems would have contingency, but that's why I smell a rat here. So the story yesterday, of course, was about JBS, which is a meat supplier. And again, the FT, which is part of the globalist set, World Economic Forum set. Their story says today, Russian criminal gang likely hacked meat supplier JBS, White House says. So it's blame the Russians. Detract attention from the World Economic Forum and the fact that they've been preparing us for this. So let's quickly go through this story. Thousands of workers were stood down after North American and Australian servers hit. So it's convenient that Australia was hit as well. And they tell this story as if it was true just because the White House says it. We've known in the past that things that come out of politicians or governments are not necessarily the truth, or I would say you should look at it as a lie, personally. So a criminal organization that is probably based in Russia was behind a ransomware attack that has disrupted animal slaughtering at JBS, the White House said, based on information from the world's largest meat processor. São Paulo, that's Brazil, São Paulo headquartered JBS, has for the past 2 days suffered from a cyber attack on its North American and Australian systems that halted work for thousands of employees. Yes, I'm not going to go through the whole story here because I'm just trying to give you the bigger picture, and I'm sure you're going to be able to read about this in a lot of other places. The other interesting thing I found, and I was watching Doug Casey's YouTube channel yesterday. I recommend that channel, by the way. And they were talking about the hack because it happened yesterday, the JBS hack. And I think it's Matthew Smith that does the chat with him. He said, oh, did you see that JBS is actually a partner of the World Economic Forum? And Doug Casey said, well, it almost seems like they're working together, doesn't it? And they actually said, we don't want to be conspiracy theorists, but, you know, it looks very, very convenient because these people are going to benefit from a total implosion of the system. And of course, they're going to blame a hack. And I would say even the Russians are working together with these people, the Russian government. And I'll come to that later, why I think that is happening. Because they play on the same team. They belong to the same international organizations like the UN, IMF, World Bank, BIS. So they're all playing together, pretending that they hate each other and that they're fighting a lot of times. So here we go. World Economic Forum page, or website, sorry. World Economic Forum partners. JBS is among the world's largest processors of animal protein, with 250,000 employees and revenues of 50 billion. It's among the top 5 largest food and beverage companies in the world. Originally founded in Brazil, JBS is a global company with North America representing 55% and Asia Pacific 20% of the group. The company's main operations are in US, Canada, United Kingdom, Australia, and Brazil. So there you go. I'm sure they're working together with the World Economic Forum. They got the nod maybe last week. Yeah, let's do that hack, right? We'll blame the Russians. And what have the Russians got to win or got to gain from all this madness that's going on? Well, Hugo Salinas Price, which is a man that I've been following for many years, who's a sound money proponent, a gold proponent, gold standard proponent. He's a silver standard proponent as well from Mexico. One of the richest men in Mexico. He just wrote recently, May 31st, so this Monday, the following story on his site, which is plata.com.mx, and I'll leave a link to this article below in the description. And this is just his opinion. This isn't news. This is what he's looking at and deducting. So he says, June 28th, Bank for International Settlements caves in to Russia and China. So yeah, June 28th is when unallocated gold will be very expensive to trade for European banks and could disrupt the paper game in gold and silver, of course. So he says, on April 6th, 2021, the website Russia Today made an announcement. The announcement was Putin poised to set out vision for future in dramatic speech in what allies say will be the world's most important political event. So this is Hugo Salinas Price now. However, it turned out that Putin did not set out any vision for the future in any dramatic speech, and the world's most important political event did not take place. So he asked the question, what has been going on? Well, so here's his opinion. In my opinion, there is only one explanation for this odd situation. Putin was threatening to restore gold backing for the Russian ruble and for the Chinese yuan, and this scared the living daylight out of the BIS, the Bank for International Settlements of Basel, Switzerland, which caved in to the pressure from Russia and its ally, China. As a result of Putin's threat, this made the BIS advise that it was implementing the new rules to govern international banks regarding the presentation of amounts of gold which they hold, which are no longer to include unallocated gold or paper gold or gold created out of thin air through credit. It had been the operations with unallocated gold, i.e. mythical gold, which have allowed the most important banks of Britain and the US to control and suppress a market price for gold. Under the new rules, which are to be presented in full on June 28th of this year, the price of gold will no longer be subject to manipulation on the part of the US and UK, because the most important banks of these countries will no longer be able to count unallocated, i.e. non-existent gold, for their collusion regarding price control of the metal. Yeah, I'm not too sure if it's going to be June 28th for the US and UK banks, but it will definitely be for the major European banks. So we'll have to see about that. Russia and its ally, China, have thus canceled the power of the US and UK to keep the price of gold in the deep freeze for so many years. The other thing I would say, very important, economic officials in Russia know about the manipulation. I think one of Putin's major economic advisors went to GATA's gold rush, or Dawson, I think Dawson 2005 summit. He was there, and he was explained how it works. And from 2006, Russia started acquiring a lot of physical gold. So let's finish this article by Mr. Salinas Price. Nobody knows how high the price of gold will be after June 28th, but the higher it goes, the lower goes the international value of the dollar and of other national currencies that are linked to the dollar through the concentration of their reserves in dollars. The enormous US imports of Chinese goods will have to fall to a trickle, and the reduction, the result of a return of economic reality, will decimate the standard of living of Americans. I would say also of Europeans to some extent, and also of people here in the UK, because the UK is like a mini-me of the US. It latches on to the US. A new age imposed by Russia and China will begin on June 28th, 2021, as gold regains its age-old function as money. So that's his opinion. He's not saying this is going to happen. This is what he thinks. And I think he could be right, because a lot of people have been puzzled. Why would the BIS do this? Well, because maybe it's under pressure from Russia and China, because Russia and China threatened to announce a gold standard. That's very possible, I would say. And together with these cyber attacks, and blaming Russia for it, you kind of put two and two together, and you can see how these people could be working together, helping each other out, giving the American elite, the American power structure, the European UK power structure, an excuse for, or a cover, I would say, for bringing the economy and the system down through a cyber attack triggered by the Russians. We'll blame the Russians, and the Russians will get their, and the Chinese will get the system they want. Who knows? I find it very interesting trying to see what's going on behind the scenes, because what we are told publicly a lot of times is just a cover story. And I mean that from governments, of course. So yeah, yesterday was another frustrating day in the precious metals market. The US came in. Prior to that, everything was moving up. We saw the miners doing well, and they continue to do well yesterday, the miners, despite the fact that COMEX and the banks came in and bashed gold and silver lower. But as we said many times in the past, gives us an opportunity to stack, keep stacking silver and gold if possible, keep backing Wall Street Silver, their Reddit group, which is growing. It's almost up to 100,000 apes. I highly recommend as well the Wall Street Silver YouTube channel. So let's quickly see where we are then this morning. Billy and I are a little earlier. It's around 7:30 a.m. London time. So we've got spot gold, which is basically this paper price at $18.9825, down just under $2. The high's been $19.02 and the low $18.95. Silver, of course, was doing really well yesterday. I think we got above $28.50, and they even smacked it down after the regular hour close on COMEX. They smacked it down into the low 2780s, which is really blatant, I thought. But try to get silver below $28, real silver, and you won't be able to do so. Right now, silver is down 17 cents at 27.70, right on the lows of the overnight session. The high's been 27.98. I know it's frustrating, and I've been at this for almost 20 years, and I realized right from the beginning that these markets were manipulated, and it was lonely back then. And it's encouraging that a lot of people now see this manipulation, and they're taking it as an opportunity to take the physical out of the market, and that eventually will really hurt the bankers. So we just need to keep going. The Dow future is down 20 points. The NASDAQ 100 future is down 10. S&P is down 2. So market fairly quiet here early on. The currencies, we've got cable unchanged at 141.50. The euro is up slightly at 122.15. The dollar is up 0.2% versus the Japanese yen at 109.71. And the dollar is up slightly versus the yuan at 638.73. WTI crude is up 0.2% at 67.81. High-grade copper is down 0.33% at 463.87. I forgot the Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar is at 77.35, down 0.2%. And the 10-year note yield is at 161, virtually unchanged. So there you go. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. Please share it far and wide. Think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't yet. And you can also follow me on Rumble. Yeah, I signed up to Rumble yesterday. I posted my video from yesterday on Rumble, and I'll be posting all my videos there now as well. Also, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and all these other platforms below here. I wish you all a great day. Take care. Bye.